Episode number 17. Hey, guess what? I know your social security number. Thanks Equifax.
Space pigeons are in my podcast.
Space Pigeon Radio, featuring the sons of Ackworth. Podcasting now. Close to Ackworth, Georgia.
Good? Yeah. Good. Okay, there we go. Let's do it. Okay, is this loud enough? That might need to be louder. Okay. Everybody clap your hands. Atlanta. 2 new stadiums aren't enough. We need 3 new stadiums. 3 new stadiums. 2 new stadiums aren't enough. We need 3 new stadiums. Phillips Arena, you suck as an arena indeed. We need a new stadium. Kasim Reed gotta be twice as tall and have an LED floor and leather plush seats so people's ass don't get sore. Just demolish the building next door. Party Crashers, Atlanta Thrashers, who the fuck is that? Spending my taxes on that, I say make it double. We don't need flood relief in Atlanta. Cheaper food and more expensive seats and seat licenses so poor people can't sit or eat. 2 new stadiums aren't enough. We need 3 new stadiums. Not enough. 2 new stadiums aren't enough. We need 3 new stadiums. 3 new stadiums. Why not 4? Tear down the 10. Do it again and call it New 10. With the N-U, like new metal. ATL, we don't stop, don't settle. Oh my God, make it 5. Replace Bobby Dodd. Replace the arenas. Replace the varsity. Replace the Fox Theater. Replace the state capitol. Holy shit, everything must go.
We should put a highlight arena in the middle of Piedmont Park. Should put a curling arena somewhere on the west end, preferably close to Bone Lick Barbecue.
"17 space pigeons, dirty birds, stay flapping that outer space shit that keeps on happening. 17 space pigeons, dirty birds, stay flapping that outer space shit that keeps on happening. 17 space pigeons, dirty birds, stay flapping 17th episode. What a strange number of podcasts.
17. 18
On
yet?
the 17th episode, it's me, Ryan Fuqua, with you as always, and the man, Mr. Crow.
Mr. Crow, with you as always.
And the man who is Irish, the man who is the Irish father, Mike McGinley.
Good evening. Good evening.
And my new dog, Stella. Bark, bark, bark,
Bark, bark, bark. Foo dog.
bark, bark. Sleep in my basement. We've been away for a couple of weeks. Things keep happening and the world keeps turning, and many cities are getting washed away by hurricanes. And there's good crowds. There's excellent crowds here at the hurricane victims. Great turnout.
They're all booking hotel rooms in Atlanta so they can pay the tax for the new stadium.
You guys are a lovely crowd.
Yeah.
Mike, you've been to the new stadium. Talk about that. What is it like going inside the Falcons stadium?
The Falcons stadium. All right, so I walked around the behemoth. I took a Uber there. I went last Thursday for the preseason game.
Yes.
And I got let off on the let's see here. I guess the
North side?
north side? No, that would be the south side.
MLK.
And then walked. Well, no, hold on. No, it wasn't south. It was the west part. West part. You know the
North side?
north side maybe. No, it's not north side. Anyway,
So you got completely turned around because it's just
I got
so
completely
confusing.
turned around. It's just so large now. So it's huge. It's
Directions cease to
huge.
make
It's huge.
sense.
It's huge. No, but the thing is amazing when you walk up to it. You're like, Jesus Christ, this thing's fucking like 4 times the size of the dome.
Right.
So like I walked around the whole thing just to kind of get a whole view of it, and then went in the gate. And like when you first go in, first of all, they're like it's like self-serve kiosk things when you walk in. It's like scan your shit. Like there's no physical tickets anymore at all.
Right.
Yeah. So like you have it on your phone and you
Place
scan
your
it.
head inside the brain scanner.
Place your testicles above the so like you scan it and you walk in, and they had a bunch of people there like telling you what to do. Oh, you scan your shit, and there's just people there that are like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know what a computer is.
I don't do phones.
Yeah, I don't do phones. So like you scan it and you walk in, and the gate that I walked in was gate 2. For those of you that are taking notes, you walk in and there's the 65-foot Falcon statue.
Yes, talk about that.
Looks like something out of. It kind of looks.
It's like a later Michael Bay Transformers.
Yeah, no, that's what it felt like. Like to me, it looks like I heard in my head like like the spoons.
Does it move? Do the eyes move?
No, it doesn't move, but it's got a lot of lights on it.
That's a
Yeah,
shit.
but it looks like it looks like it should move. Like
it fucking should move.
Yeah, but it's pretty
that
epic.
kind of money.
So like you walk in and then everybody's like, "Oh my god!" just taking pictures, like standing there. So like you first walk into the door and you're like literally. Like where the Falcon statue is like if you see this stadium on TV or seen like the fly through thing or whatever, there's like one end of the stadium that doesn't have seats and it's just glass and it faces to like you see the city.
Yeah.
So like I walked into that gate and it literally just you open the door and it's like the door you have to like pull it because it's like fucking like pressure sealed
Wizard
or
of
some
Oz.
shit. Yeah. You walk in and the only thing I can describe that's closest to it is like the Technodrome or something, like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you walk in and it's just like really open, and then you kind of walk forward and there's just people standing there because you can like pretty much walk down to what would be I guess the 100 section and just stand there and watch. You can watch the whole game there if you want.
But
you can walk anywhere.
Was it easy to just get distracted with the place, like, and not even pay attention? To the game?
I mean, the game was like it was the 4th preseason game, which is like dudes that will never play in the actual NFL, like trying to get a job on the practice squad. So like I sat there, Darius and I went. We sat there for like 15 or 20 minutes, and then we were like, let's walk around. And we literally, we walked every fucking we walked the 200 section, we walked the 100 section, the 300 section,
because football's much more interesting than baseball.
Yeah.
This is an empirical fact, but when I've gone to, I went to a game at the new Braves Park, and there's just, besides the fact that it's really boring to watch the Atlanta Braves now, there's just so much distraction in the place.
Yeah.
Of like all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
there's zip lining in the outfield.
The game is like a complete afterthought.
Is that on the inside? So I saw the pictures of it, like just outside the outfield. Is it like if you're inside the stadium, can you like meander out there during the game and then walk back in?
Yeah. Well, you can't. Well, I don't think you can walk. I may be wrong on this. I don't think you walk into the Battery part where like the fucking Roxy is and like all the restaurants.
You don't walk there.
But I mean, there's shit inside there. There's enough food and everything in there to keep you occupied, really.
Right.
But I will say, like, the difference between that and the Falcons one is like there's literally right when you walk in and it's all open up to the left, there's a Fox Brothers. Like right there.
Yeah.
And then they have this big bar that they call like the Nest or something, and it looks like a nest.
Yeah.
And there's like a waiting line. It's just like you walk into a mall and there's like a fucking restaurant there, and there's a line for people to get into the restaurant, like to get a table.
That just reminds me of how I really get just amused and frustrated at how like in the Kennesaw area, like everything has to be the Nest this and the Nest that with the owls.
owls.
The owls.
Yes.
Speaking of Kennesaw / Ackworth, did you see what James Atwell, the picture he put up today of like Ackworth? It was like around Ackworth or whatever. There's like some magazine. And it's
around Ackworth.
Let me see if I can find it. But the picture is like some Botox place.
Yeah.
And it looks like, you remember the show Nip Tuck?
Yeah.
Like it looks like Nip Tuck, and it's like Ackworth, and it's like talking about these classy things in Ackworth, and like James Atwell's like, this is not the Ackworth that I know of.
No.
Yeah, that's when I'm promoting Space Pigeon Radio on Twitter. I'm always like, I'll randomly search Ackworth, and a lot of like around Ackworth comes up. It's like, get your free massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at
Let's see. Oh yeah, around Ackworth.
Yeah, you read the
Featuring
side
the
of
star of
but
Shark
both those fuckers have so much Botox on, they don't even have like a line on their face.
Big plans
they pulled taut.
Big plans for historic downtown Ackworth. Pedestrian overpass, more parking, a roundabout, and more.
Assassin.
A roundabout. Wow.
They're like eventually Detmeyers will die. And we can take that shit over.
Boy, after the whole
But that's Kennesaw.
thing in Charlottesville, that Kennesaw really is. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, they were posting. Everybody was after that Confederate flag at the train tracks, and it was taken a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really?
like it had been taken 2 or 3 times, and then they were starting to post cop cars like right at.
It's
Wild
like
Man's, day long.
It's like a real life capture the flag in Halo, except you will get shot, and it's a.
Put that flag down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I don't
What's
know.
to say about all that? I did keep wondering, like, well, what's to do? That hasn't been talked about a lot in the last like couple weeks after it died down a little bit. But I was like, what's to do about Stone Mountain? We were talking about that last time. I was like, that's a pretty big like. That's one. What do you do about that?
Well, you know what it is, right? Like you've always known what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just deal with it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the idea of putting Outcast on it. I think that's a great idea.
I think that. Yeah.
Have you been lately?
Carve something else. Yeah. Talking
Have you
about
been to the
on
laser
last
show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we did. But do they?
I can talk about it again.
Yeah.
We need a picture of Outcast.
Well, do they play Dixie and everything and have them?
They still do all of that.
Like they still
Well,
do
and
that shit.
that was my whole
Yeah,
thing
Lee
with
Greenwood.
why it was
Lee
like.
Greenwood.
O.J. Simpson.
That was my whole thing with why it was funny that like this half-hearted like. By the way, here's all the civil rights like heroes.
Mm-hmm.
After like this just bonanza of like old racist shit that's like just
do they
embedded in the whole thing.
So they project like the civil rights leaders like on the mountain.
Yeah, but only after you've already been through like the Elvis parade
Well,
and the whole, like everything.
Well, the whole
Yeah.
To me, okay, like you have play the Lee Greenwood or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, it's like you're basically like holding the rebels of the country that that seceded from the Union.
Yeah.
And then you're playing God Bless the USA. Like that doesn't. And to me, I'm just like.
Like, do you remember? I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but when I used to go there as a kid, at the bottom of the mountain, there's this little section in there where they show this video to you, and it's like they come up with this backstory about Stone Mountain, like the Lord of the Rings. Does anybody else remember this?
I do, Michael Crow. It wasn't on the bottom of the mountain. It was on the top
Yeah,
of the
that's
mountain.
where you were wrong.
I caught
on the
myself,
details.
but I was like, I think I'm hanging on to character.
I think you're bullshitting. I call you bullshit.
Yes.
I feel deja vu. Is there a glitch in the Matrix? Yeah, so the whole, going back to the whole Charlottesville thing, I saw the guy that was like on the Vice documentary, like he was like scared for his life now and shit.
Oh yeah, he started
fucking asshole.
crying and
Right?
Such an asshole.
and then he was just kind of gone, and then hurricanes happened and
No.
Right?
and everything continues, and there's still no impeachment. There's still, it's just we're gonna just tear this Band-Aid off.
Did you see what happened today?
Slow.
No,
I
it was
didn't.
the picture came out. It was basically like Trump has agreed to raise the debt ceiling in exchange for like funds for the flood, and then there's a picture of him like in the White House like hugging Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
Pelosi
like
and Schumer.
Pelosi and Schumer. He's hanging out with the two of them. I bet you like every like hardcore like conspiracy theorist like conservative is like, oh god damn.
Well, Paul Ryan. They're like the whole thing is like Paul Ryan's losing his grip, and they're trying to kick him out of the Freedom Caucus and everything. And
Yeah.
rhinos, man.
Yeah. Well, and it's Trump is all like,
Well,
I'll just be
doing
friends
whatever.
with the Democrats
well,
now.
if he wants to be, because the Republicans don't like him right now, so he'll go back to the Democrats. But I mean, if he has any common sense at this point, he'll start like bending backwards and kind of being like, all right, well, maybe I need to start. We need to start reaching across the aisle if I'm going to save my presidency, really.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of crises going on, and we just had the nuclear crisis. There's natural disaster crisis. There's racial crisis. There's, I don't know what else. Military transgender crisis.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Are there crises that we haven't run into yet so far that are about
Locusts?
to happen? Let's predict the next crisis.
Volcanoes.
Super volcano.
Super volcano.
Time.
Did you? There was something I read that they were talking about sharks were like being sucked up into the hurricane or something.
There's going to be a Sharknado?
Sharknado?
Like, for real?
I think so.
There's no way. That's bullshit.
I don't know. It might have been fake news. Might have been fake news. I don't know. Yeah, but
It's a Russian plan.
no. There was a thing. Did you read the thing yesterday about they said Facebook sold, or basically, Facebook basically took ad space or ad money from like a Russian company for the election. So like basically like they realized that Facebook was a part of the whole thing, with the whole like I guess fake news planting with like the Republicans in certain states.
I guarantee you there are just people at Facebook who didn't think anything of the fact
No, they're just trying to make money.
wherever the money came from, whatever, that's fine.
But I just find that shit hilarious.
I sit here sometimes and buy ads for this podcast, and like that's anybody could sit and do that. You could be sitting in Russia.
I have to ban my mom from the page because like she had me help her with something on her. She's like, I can't get into my email, and so like I go to her homepage, which is her Facebook, and on the side is an ad for something else, and there's Hinkle's face, and so I'm like, oh no! So I have to go in and like add like real quick while I was there. I like made her a fan of something else. Then I went in as an admin and banned her from that and the Sons of Ackworth. So like you were not allowed to get her advertisements anymore.
Yeah, you gotta keep that under control. Your social media. There's social media with my son's kindergarten class. They actually have this thing that the teacher asks the parents to do. You download this app, and then the teacher shares pictures from the class that all the parents like, and like it's like oh, there's a lot of likes for Wear Green Day, and Wear Orange Day, except the teacher. The teacher makes a lot of little comments on it, and the teacher says like, "This is my least favorite day. Wear Orange Day. I like Crimson Day. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
And my neighbor. So this Roll Tide thing, right?
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah.
Like I had this whole thing happen with my neighbor the other day. I was out walking past her with this dog that I have now, and this is the dog. I go walk around my neighborhood more than I ever did before. taking the dog on walks and whatnot, and I passed my crazy neighbor next door, and she's because we never talk. I talked to her maybe once in 6 months or something. She's like, "Hey Ryan, do you think that because she saw that I was in the middle of doing yard work that day too, and she's like, do you think that you could clear some of this brush right here between our property?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that." And she pointed to this stuff, and so and this will get back to Roll Tide in a minute. Just wait for it. So, anyways, I'm like, okay. So I put the dog inside, grabbed my lopping tool. You ever use those loppers?
Yeah.
So I lopped a bunch of brush.
Forceps.
Yeah.
Forceps.
Took a couple hours because I got carried away. And anyway, I finished, and then took the dog out for an evening walk. And then I'm walking back, and then I hear this voice of this neighbor, and I don't know where the fuck it's coming from. It's like, "Ryan?" I'm like looking all around, and she's popping her head out of the window of her house.
While you're doing the thing, she asked you.
No, while I'm coming back after I've done it. She goes, "Ryan, you cut down my butterfly bush." And I said, "I did?" And she said, "Yeah, that thing that looked like a stick is the butterfly plant that the butterflies come and land on." And I said, "Oh, I had no idea because it just looked like all that shit that you
like
wanted me to trim."
Yeah.
And I guess it had one little flower sticking on it, which indicated that that's a butterfly bush, but it just looked like a shit twig to me. And anyway, she started giving me some shit about it, and I was like, "Well, hey, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have even touched any of this stuff, but you just asked me to. Yeah, you kind of wanted me to trim this bush, and I don't know this one bush from another, so I just, I'm so very sorry about that." And she said, "Well, that's okay. Well, what game are you going to watch tonight?" And I said, "Well, what games are on?" She said, "Well, there's Georgia Tech, there's Alabama, and there's some other one." And I was like, "Well, none of them really. I don't watch college football." And she was like, "Well, I'm going to watch Alabama. Roll Tide." And I said, "Okay." And that was it.
Was she hoping that would piss you off?
I don't know. I guess.
You cut down the butterfly bush. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Where are my butterflies going to know where to come? Roll Tide.
So the thing that's funny to me is people, I don't know her situation, but I've got a cousin that's into Roll Tide, and he never went to the school or even went to college. So I don't understand why people who never went to the school get invested in the college football.
Like, there's turnover because there's like I think because I hate college. I think it's like every moment is a chance at renewal.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's a bunch of kids that are going to go off, and well, now it's like, I feel like it's an underdog like ragtag thing because professionals is like the target, but like college is like, well, that's the best we could do.
All we
can have are some kids.
Like I remember growing up, like there were kids when I lived in Lawrenceville that were like hardcore into UGA. My neighbor, I remember, like neither of them the whole family had never even been to Athens before in their lives, but they were just like hardcore Georgia. Nobody had gone to the school or anything, just hardcore Georgia. Yeah. And I just knew a lot of people that were like that. I follow Virginia Tech. My dad went there, and I followed him when I was a kid. So
I get like follow the school of family member or sibling, but if you have like no
I agree,
connection whatsoever.
I feel the same way about like being into a team from a state that you've never even been to or something. I don't understand. Yes. That is like that. I'm like, if you're from say Atlanta and you move to Cincinnati and you become a Reds fan, that's fine.
Or go Bengals.
Like, yeah, go Bengals, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I don't understand if you're like from one city and then you're like, hey, I love that team, and you're like, really? What? Have you ever been there? No, I've never been there. It's like, how do you have allegiance to that team at all? Like, I don't understand it, but whatever. I mean, the world's a kooky place.
Whatever floats your boat, as they say.
Well, as long as you don't shoot, as long as North Korea doesn't shoot nukes at us, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
To close out the trifecta, recapping from last episode, guess what I do for my job?
Yeah, what do you do for your job?
My new job, by the way, I'm working.
Yay!
Kidding me? I bought my own beer.
Michael Crow! A worker! What do you do at your work?
Catheters.
Like, no shit.
Well, yeah. So like,
Obliquely.
So you cath.
we do inventory software for hospitals, and I just like I'm staring at fucking catheters inventory, like urinary catheters and brain catheters. And,
Brain catheters?
Yeah, that's like if you got a aneurysm, embolization, they stick this liquid metal inside your brain, and they got to get in there through a catheter, fill it up. Take a picture of your aorta by sticking a catheter through your leg. Snap a shot right there.
So you just specifically are on catheters.
Well, that's among other things, but just tying it together. Yeah. Catheters and scalpels and like cannula.
Cannula. What is cannula?
Put up one of those cannulas and trocars and forceps and all that shit. Scalpels, electrodes for a pacemaker.
What kind of Star Trek shit are you talking about?
Like you talking about a cannula?
What are you talking about? The fuck you talking about?
Them's one of them pods let you take off in space.
You better call a timeout, Kansas City Chiefs. Ryan.
Oh, that's why.
That's what that's from.
So you better call timeout, Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, you got Kansas City and New England
This is the first football NFL football game of the year.
Oh, first NFL football game of the year.
It's the New England. They're going to lose their Super Bowl championships at some point because of their cheating. Some point. So,
well, what do you while football is kind of like the overriding segment of this first segment, like what is your prediction on the Falcons this year? We had some shit preseason games. I think we can all agree.
Like we haven't even seen the team. Like that's the thing. And like they played the first two games they play first team like 2 series pretty much. Both sides of the ball looked amazing. Like looked really good. Third preseason game where the starters play the most, they looked horrible. Yep. Right? So that's the only thing you have to go off of there. The only our defense got better, like considerably better. That's my hot take right there.
Yes.
Like got way better. And our offense is pretty much exactly the same, except we lost our fullback and one of the offensive line guys. But they've kind of got some replacement guys they're trying to add some depth on the O-line. I think we're gonna be good, but I think in our division,
special teams though.
No, special teams actually look like crap in preseason, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. But
you got a kicker and a puncher.
They're playing the Bears, which the Bears are awful. They were the worst team. I think they were the worst team last year.
Nah, Jay Cutler go down.
Jay Cutler gone.
Get the hell out of there.
They cut Cutler.
What about
So I think it's going to be us and Tampa Bay fighting for the division, but I think we're going to win the division again.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and I think I'm not going to say we're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I think we'll go pretty far in the playoffs.
Can't win the division if your town gets destroyed in a hurricane.
That's true.
It's
heading right this way.
Is there any news about HaHa Clinton Dix?
He laughed himself to death. No.
This station was a nation with version.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. With that, we'll be right back. Now, a word from our sponsor. Remember, you're in heaven. It's got botanicals. Botanicals. You're going to want to drink your piss.
You're going to want it.
Wait the town to tell the people.
That's an awesome time. Okay, here we go. Try one more.
I personally don't like these, but fruit broke from dead bodies is hot. She's the bitch you hate. Chop his or her ass up like you want some chocolate cake. Make chunks of flesh in the ground. Meat fruit by the pound. Carnivore and vegetarian. North of Bavaria. Sweden and the Netherlands. Nothing is better than a big piece of blood fruit sausage fresh from the can. Don't need a butcher. I cut up the middleman. Temper roof of land cheese.
It was Gerald.
roof of land cheese.
It was Jeremiah Wheat.
Temple roof of land cheese.
It was Jeremiah Wheat.
Temple roof of land cheese.
It was Jeremiah Wheat.
Space Pigeon Radio.
What does this sound like?
The bigger number you divide it by. The answer is the quotient. The answer as a name is the remainder. Welcome to 4th grade. I'm the rapping teacher.
Rapping teacher, tell us what to do today. What's the day's color, oh ho?
The kingdom of Egypt is ruled by the pharaohs. The pyramids on the backs of the fathers of Moses and Aaron.
Did I have an excellent day or just a very good?
They got paid no dineros, pointing to the belt of Orion like an arrow. This is 4th grade. It's the remainder that remains. Don't piss in your pants, boy. You're going into the corner. Did you bring your spare change of pants, boy? You're 9 years old. Stop pissing in your pants, boy. This is fucking 4th grade, boy.
We're gonna learn about current events today. Now, don't drown in the flood, don't get killed by the Klan. Don't drown in the flood, don't get killed by the Klan. You better understand, better hold my hand. Don't drown in the flood, don't get killed by the Klan. Klan. Oh.
The rapping teacher. It's weird. I think he's just taking the easy way out. Write a lesson plan like a normal person. How fucking innovative. You got a light pen for your Windows tablet. You can cross words out. Never heard of that before. That's the remainder. It's the pyramids. Fucking boys in 4th grade, stop pissing in your pants. Fucking boys in the 4th grade, where's your spare change of pants? Can't you get the shit figured out yet? You're 9 years old, you fucking baby.
Shut the fuck up. Give me your fucking lunch money. I saw you looking at my girl in the monkey bars.
I got that stupid hair, like Webster's uncle. That stupid hair, like Webster's uncle.
What?
It's like Savian Glover.
I'm the playground playboy, bringing those girls out under the jungle gym, and we're gonna have a nice afternoon. The teacher won't know when it's nap time. When it's nap time, that's when she's in my lap time. At nap time, at nap time, that's when it's in my lap time.
Come on, nap time.
And I'm laying on my back while the teacher walks by, and her dress comes over my face. I can see all the way to France.
Nice.
In her underpants. When it's nap time, when it's in my lap time, when it's nap time, in my lap time.
See, that's why you get piss your pants.
When you're wearing those khakis and they look dark brown because you got a big piss stain going all the way down.
All the way down to the fleet. Keep it on fleek. Rapping teacher, looking like Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element with that dookie thing on your head. Better wish you didn't get out of bed this morning and teach. Rapping to the 4th graders all across the land. Give me a hand. Gonna make a paper mache sphinx. 4th grade. X equals what? Can you spell incomprehensible? I'm going to the spelling bee, motherfucker!
Can't spell incomprehensible without M-I-C-O-C-K, bitch!
Oh.
And remove.
God, would I learn anything in that class?
Not to piss in your pants.
If I ain't got it by 9, I don't think I'm ever gonna get it.
That's the weird school, elementary school.
That's
that fucking commercial, that Windows 10 tablet
teacher.
commercial.
The rapping teacher.
Tony Jackson.
Is his name?
They call it the remainder.
I call it the remainder.
And the kids, they're not listening to
No,
what
they're
he's
not.
saying.
No.
There's a trend with kids with these people that make careers on YouTube doing action figure reviews.
Careers?
Yeah, because my son is into this. Like, he'll go on these like different YouTube channels where there'll be this guy and he'll get a toy, and he'll be like a grown man like us, and he'll sit there and go, this Incredible Hulk action figure has 37 points of articulation. It's got really nice motion when we turn the torso, and the arm bends like this. And my son like imitates these guys, and he says all that shit. He's like, this many points of articulation, it turns like this, does all this.
Jay and Silent Bob have a thing that they do that. They must be making fun of or trying to cash in on that.
In those reviews, do they give any review, or are they just like stating the specs? Like, you can twist
no,
it?
they do. They're like, they didn't do a very good job of the sculpt on this one. You know, it's if you compare it to last year's version, you know, the paint color is not as nicely detailed.
Has anyone alerted Junior that this is a career opportunity for him? Because I feel like he could make some money off of this.
Well, wait, what's he doing?
Because he's very meticulous about look, the blood on her tit looks very detailed. Like, it'd be all the fucking Clive Barker shit, you know.
They did an excellent job on the hanging entrails.
The hanging entrails. The entrails look pretty real.
There's some articulation on these intestines when they turn.
You can see his last meal inside.
What's he doing? He's doing restaurants. Right?
Yeah, he owns a restaurant.
Is he still like doing fun things like that? Like,
I mean, I don't know if it's. He lives in Mississippi. I don't know if that's fun, but yeah. I mean, I think the business is doing okay. Like, he's got a lot of competition. He like a Mexican restaurant opened up literally like right next to him.
Oh, you got experience with that.
That's a dick
that
move.
happens. And it's always like these real brash, like younger, like dudes that like their parents have owned restaurants. They're like, I can do anything. Like the guy that I went on the Junior sent me the Facebook page of the restaurant that's next to him, and I went on, and it was like opening day with like this dude with tight black t-shirt, and he's just like, you know, this is the owner, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, what dumbass opens a fucking restaurant, the same restaurant next to another restaurant? Oh, that guy. That guy does it. And there's so much room in that town that he could have put it across town and made so much more money.
Oh, no, he's cocky. He's like, I'm going to put them out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
My superior Mexican.
Yep.
Mexico, what would be like, if not Mexico typical, like Mexico superior...
It's
Unico.
Unique.
Mexico Unico.
Unique.
That's probably not the actual Spanish.
I think Junior should build a wall like between the two of them.
Out of his action figures. Speaking of those action figures, you've been to the Think Geek store in Town Center Mall they built?
No. I haven't been to Town Center Mall since like I think Clinton was president maybe.
Okay. Town Center Mall is the same, except they built a Think Geek store up on the second floor, and basically that's the website Think Geek that has geek toys, like all in a store. And
so basically, let me figure out their business model. They are successful online, and then they decided to basically throw all that away and go brick and mortar.
Yeah, have a
store.
That's
retarded.
And when you go in and you look at all the stuff, and it's a place where you can look for a few minutes because they got some interesting stuff to look at. But then, I did try to buy something in there, and they've got these. They've instructed these cashiers. I don't think it's just this store. I think there's a lot of mall stores do this, but the cashiers have this imperative to talk to you, and have an awkward conversation while you're trying to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I happened to be wearing a Star Wars shirt, and then got into this forced conversation with this person about, like, are you excited about Force Friday? It was like, we're going to be Force Friday, like, for Star Wars toys. And I was like, no, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars. I don't want to talk with you about
when did
the Star Wars marketing day. And
when did May the 4th become a thing? Because that's a recent thing as well.
I think it's
I remember
been a thing. It's just more visible now.
Well, I guess. But to piggyback off of your awkward conversation,
yes.
I was in. Hold on. Whatever. What's the fucking mall? Cumberland.
Yeah.
Cumberland Mall, and they put a Hot Topic in Cumberland Mall.
Oh yeah.
So like
Hot Topic does that shit too.
Yeah. So I was exact same shit. I was walking by, and it was like I was trying to kill some time before I was doing something else.
You like killing things.
Well, I really like killing things. So like I walk in and like,
do you want to watch?
Do you like Black Magic? But
so you got a Wolfman of Dawn shirt. Do you like Wolfman?
Do you like Wolfman?
Do you like werewolves?
Do you ask for Donna? No. So like I walked in and like I started looking at T-shirts, and it was like I think I was the only person in the store because it was like a weekday or something, and the chick goes, "Hey," she's like, "Can I help you with anything?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just kind of looking at some stuff." And she's like, "Oh, that's cool." She's like, "All right, by the way, our T-shirts are blah 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 blah," and all this shit, and like some whatever deal it was. I was like, "All right."
Our T-shirts are
intercepted by people.
Are 5 for $70.
$70. It's
like,
a great
deal
today.
I don't know.
It's a great deal today. But so I start walking over to the band T-shirts after I was like looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and I was like, or Marvel stuff, and it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, and she's like, "Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, I didn't like it. And I go, "I thought it was pretty good." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess it was all right." And then she starts talking about the scenes that she liked, and I'm like, "So you liked the movie?" I was like, "That's fine, all right." So I'm like walking over to the band T-shirts. I'm just like trying to avoid.
Maybe
this
they're
woman.
Not forced to conversate, but maybe they just hire nothing but
fucking
socially awkward people. But
so this is the kicker. This is the kicker. I walk over and I like start looking at the wall of T-shirts, and I'm like, "Oh shit, they've got 2 Deftones T-shirts." So I start looking at the Deftones T-shirts. And the chick comes over. She goes, "Hey," she's like, "You like the Deftones?" And I go, "Yeah, man, they're great." I was like, "Great band." And she's like, and I go, "Yeah, I saw them recently." And it was like, they were at fucking whatever festival last year. I can't remember. Bended Knee or whatever the fuck it's called.
On Bended Knee.
Whatever the fuck. Oh, Shaky Knee. Whatever the fuck. I'm old. I can't fucking remember shit. But like I was like, "Yeah, I saw him there," and I was like, "I've seen him a bunch of times and shit." And she goes, "Yeah, I like some of their songs and it's cool." And I was like, "You should see them live sometime. They're a good band." And she goes,
"What?"
She goes, "No." She goes, "This is where," she goes, "Okay, piercings everywhere, right? Tattoos, purple hair, band T-shirt, like can't remember what it was, like cut up fishnets, all this shit. You know, looks like she goes to every fucking metal show or what punk show or whatever the fuck you fucking fill in the blank. She works at fucking Hot Topic, for God's sakes." She goes, "I've never been to a concert before." And I go, I literally went sideways, like, "Really?"
They're my dad's
I mean, the ones
band.
at church, but that's it.
And it was like, I was like,
pep rallies.
I was like,
I mean,
so I'm having a conversation with the person that's the only person that's running this store with this gigantic wall of band T-shirts, and you've never been to a concert before. I just had to stop. I had to stop the conversation and immediately leave the store. I was like, "No, I have to leave now."
The food court is. Oh, so you like Sbarro, huh?
I see you like cinnamon buns.
Auntie Annie's is okay, I guess. I really like the salt.
There's
I've never had salt before.
There's a Walgreens up the street from here. Segway. There's a Walgreens up the street from here that I've often had to go pick up these like Jenny will have her photos developed there when she wants to print a photo out or something. So like sometimes I'll go and pick them up, and there's a guy there that has the strangest affect of speaking, and he, you know, fine if he is, he might be gay. But what I think he's more like is a robot because of how he talks. And so every time I walk in, it's the same routine with this guy. I've had it play out about 20 times. And he sits. First of all, it's just weird anyway, because if you're picking up a photo order, you go over to the photo thing, and there's a little button you press that makes summons somebody over there.
Really?
Like nobody's there, then you go, oh, I need help. Press this little button, and then I don't know, it buzzes this guy out of the back, out of his robot charging chamber. He comes up and he goes, "Welcome to Walgreens." All right, so that's always the start. I'm like, "Hi, I'm picking up a photo order, Jennifer Fuquay." He's like, he gets it, and then he gets to start ringing it up, and he goes, "Do you have a Balance Rewards card?" And I go, "Yes." So put in the phone number for my rewards card.
Yeah. I thought he was going to say, "What is a Balance Rewards card?"
Start hitting your buttons in advance like an automated system.
Yeah, and he speaks in this same way every time. But then the kicker is, I don't carry cash. So I always pay with card, and I go to pay with my card. And so anytime you insert the card in the thing now, you don't swipe, you insert it.
Yeah, the chip.
The chip. So you put it in there. And then this guy, every single fucking time, I try hard not to laugh, like when the thing completes its cycle, he goes, "And remove." Like clockwork, like a robot. "And remove." And I told Jenny the story, and she'd never seen this guy. She goes there a lot too, and she's like, "I've never seen that guy once that you're talking about." But there was this one particular night that I brought her there, and he was there. And I didn't say anything. I was going to see if she noticed. And like when we were checking out, she said she just about just laughed at this guy's face when he did it. And it was all "and remove." And it's like, don't do that.
Ew. That's hilarious.
It's like the junkie lady.
Yeah. Let me take your junkie.
"Welcome to Walgreens. Do you have a Balance Rewards card? And remove." Those are the 3 quotes. If you're ever at the Dallas Highway and Mars Hill, Walgreens.
Oh, I know that one.
See, I wonder if they...
I just passed there.
I wonder if they train that person, or those people, to be exactly like robotic.
No, because there's other people that are normal humans.
This is just a weird... you remember the movie 1 Hour Photo?
Yeah, I was thinking like Robin Williams.
It might be that.
It's that guy. He's like, next time you go in there, he's like, "Your family looks very nice and very friendly.
Do you have any coupons?
Do you have coupons
for your Band-Aids?"
Yeah.
2 is better. They're free.
And like driving near there, just kind of connecting these stories in a tangential way to another. Driving along Dallas Highway near there recently, there was a man that drove out of a horror movie and onto the road next to me. I think he was driving some kind of old car that was like half rusted. The whole back ass end of the car was like brown, rusty, looked like it just been
sharp angles,
pulled out of hell.
No rounded corners.
And then the man inside, when I drove up next to it, he was strange looking anyway. He was one of these like bald with like stringy hair in the back, like Gallagher kind of situation. And next to him was a fucking mannequin with a fucked up looking mask on its face, riding in the passenger seat of his hell car.
An HOV mannequin.
Yes, I guess it was an HOV mannequin, but it seriously was
frightening.
Yeah, like
probably
Nightmare on Elm Street
person.
shit. Yeah.
It turns into a mannequin after the mall closes.
So that man was
Kim Cattrall?
Yeah. That man was headed toward Hiram. So people in Hiram,
be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for murder.
I went out to this past weekend I got paid. I got my paycheck. And I got called up Luke. I said, "Come out to a show. I want to spend this money and go to a thing. Like I want to go like be able to go somewhere."
Where'd you go?
To Richard Devine.
Oh, cool. How was that?
It was good. Richard Devine and Flashbulb, and I saw Darius and Josh and everyone. And
I heard it was good.
And so, like, Luke ended up driving me home in my car, and he didn't have his own car. Like, he got dropped off. He's like, well, you're taking me home. And I was like, well, no, can you drive the car? He rolled my back windows down, and they had been messing up for a while. But it turns out the motor, like, something was wrong with it. So I tried to get my dad to look at it. They wouldn't roll back up. He says, well, I'm just going to call my guy out in Douglasville. And this was like 6 p.m. on Sunday before Labor Day. He picks up the phone and he's like, hey, my boy's got a car and the back windows are rolled down, but they won't roll up. What are you doing right now? It was like 6 p.m. on Sunday, Labor Day, and the guy says, sounds like the main switch on the ground of the main switch is out. You're going to want a jumper. Get it out here. So I drove out to Ridge Road with my dad to see this guy, and I pull up and he's got one of those monster trucks that like the tire is taller than you, and he's got like some like it's like him and his brother in the yard, and they're talking about like, I made this jig myself. It's like, look, I throw cast iron and it's like lead and I poured it in there, but a glue red I ain't never seen before, and I just never seen. Well, no, I don't know if I should be putting that in the water, and. And then to fix it, he just got jumper cables and like jumped off like the switch in my car, like bypassed the guy. Like, there she goes, you roll the windows up.
Wow, that fixed it.
It's yeah, he like jumper cabled like my windows, and
it was the power window.
Yeah,
that's. I wonder if because I remember Emily went all through high school in her Astro van, and none of the windows would roll down. I wonder if that would have fixed it. Yeah,
he knew that just from the phone. He's like, you got to shorten your ground. Bring her over.
If I remember correctly, like her air conditioning didn't work either, and like there were 2 vent windows in the side. It was like an 80 something or 90 something Astro van.
Yeah,
and you could open the back windows, like just like kind of like prop them open, but like the rest of the car you couldn't. I remember it just being really hot. Like, I wonder if that would have fixed it. Just jumping it. I've never heard that before. Wow.
I bet that's why she likes racing now, because the wind.
That's it. That's totally it. It's totally it. Yeah.
Remember, didn't you fix up a car in high school?
I did the 79 Malibu.
79 Malibu.
Yeah.
Didn't it get crashed or something?
No, I sold it and then bought the really shitty Chevy Celebrity. I was a big Chevy guy, evidently. Actually, It was just the first available car that I could buy. And the Celebrity I had for a while. And I remember I sold it for $500 to the guy who was the maintenance guy in my apartment complex when I bought a new car. Like, and he was just like, hey man, he's like, he saw me put it, like I was about to put a sign in the car, and he's like, I'll buy it off your hands for $500 right now. And I was like, fucking sold.
So now you drive what?
I've got a Ford Edge, a 2014 Ford Edge.
What is an Edge?
It's the SUV, midsize SUV. It's the limited.
All right.
Yes.
Talking about crashes, and you had me think of that time Junior crashed his Mustang into the side of the McDonald's.
No, he didn't. He didn't do that. The elderly man that ran into us did that. Matt Cheney was in the back seat. That was an exciting thing. It was basically like we were sitting at the light right there where the McDonald's is. Like the McDonald's was here, and then we were at the light. We just gotten done. We just got done eating at $3 Cafe. Remember that used to be on there, right at 575. And we were sitting there waiting on the light, and Matt Cheney, like we literally had gotten, I guess, the 50 platter of hot wings. So we had like
they
30.
had the best wings.
Yeah, they did have good wings. $3 Cafe. I mean, they got sued for like sexual harassment. Somebody got sued for sexual harassment and fucking
false advertising.
Yeah, broke the fucking whole company.
How come it ain't $3?
It ain't $3. Ain't nothing on this menu.
Ain't nothing here. $3.
I want you to tell Pepe this ain't worth shit.
Except the tip.
So we were sitting at the light, and Cheney has like 30 hot wings in a container, and we got hit by a car, and the wings went up in the air and went everywhere, and wing sauce went everywhere, and like the car got.
That was the saddest part.
The car got thrown. The car got thrown up onto the side. Onto like the curb, and it broke the axle. Like that's how hard the impact was. And I remember Junior wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so he jumped in the passenger side. And I remember seeing the front end of the car. It was an Oldsmobile, like hit the window, and the fender was like in the window. And then it kept going. Like it went past us. I thought it was a hit and run. But anyway, so like I'm cut, like fucking shaking. I got glass all over my shit. And I've got hot wing sauce all over me. I thought it was blood. So I get out of the car and I'm like, fuck! I'm like, where am I bleeding from? Yeah.
It was a window fender.
But I did actually I remember for like a week or so I was picking glass out of my scalp, but nothing. I didn't get hurt. But the EMT, and this is what happened. The EMT showed up and immediately runs up to everybody in the crowd at the McDonald's and was like, "Who's in the Mustang? Who's in the Mustang?" And he had like his bag with him and he was all freaking out. He's like, "Who's driving? Who was driving?" And Junior's like, "Me." And he goes, "You weren't wearing your seatbelt, were you?" And Junior looks at me and I go. And he goes, no. He goes, no. And he goes, yeah. He goes, the way that car hit you, he's like, that would have cut your head off. He's like, that's why I ran over here. He's like, if you were wearing a seatbelt, it would have knocked your fucking head off. And because it came right up. I mean, it totaled the whole car, but it like, what had happened was the old
ladies
guy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not wear your seatbelt.
In this situation where there's an elderly man on medication, you should not wear your seatbelt.
You might get decapitated. Yeah. Don't wear seatbelt.
But he was what happened was he hit somebody in the intersection, and then he was on fucking some prescription pain pills, and like instead of hitting the brake, he hit the gas, so he hit us going like 45 miles an hour through the intersection. And then I got out of the car and he was stuck against the McDonald's, like drove right through the playground. Oh. And it was like December or November or something, so there were no kids out there. But I had to walk over to the car, and this guy that got out of the car behind us like walked over, and we go over to the guy, and the guy's like freaking out in the car, this old dude. And he's like, whoa, and I'm like, dude, turn the car off. Turn the fucking car off, because it was literally against the McDonald's and like the wheels were fucking turning. So I had to reach in and turn the fucking car off. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Yeah, but and then he fucking didn't have a lawyer in court, and we got summoned for the fucking. He basically like contested the whole thing, and he represented himself in court, and so like I was in the Marietta courthouse, and he was like, he called me a liar while I was on the stand, because I was like, yeah, the guy hit that person and then he hit us. And he's like, I don't believe your testimony, blah, 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 blah. And he's like fucking like, he's trying to be fucking Matlock Objection. Or some shit. He watched episodes of Matlock. And he got like into like the second sentence of like berating me, and the judge goes, I've heard enough. He goes, you're excused. And he let me off the fucking bench, and then that was it. And like, Junior came out of the fucking, because he went in first. And he's like sat at the stand or whatever, you know, and like they fucking asked him, and he came out. He was like, and he couldn't talk to me. They immediately pulled me in. Junior walks out and he's like, motherfucker, what the fuck? Like, he's like freaking out. And I was like, what the fuck am I walking into? And then the guy started fucking ripping me apart, and literally like the judge was like, I've heard enough. You're fucking guilty.
Kids, don't wear your seatbelt, and if you go to court, tell the truth.
Eat all your hot wings before you leave the restaurant as well.
Keep your hot wings safe. Go to court, tell your side of the story.
Sometimes you think you're bleeding. Sometimes you've got hot sauce on you.
We're going to take another quick break. Everybody go ahead and watch a Jimmy Stewart movie. We'll be right back.
Give a shout out to everybody who likes to enjoy the flavors of your mother's teeth. And I would like to mention the new soft drink from the makers of your mother's tea called Yo Daddy's Crotch. It's new on the scene. Maybe you on the underground haven't heard of it yet, but I'm telling you, it's about to hit the streets large. When you see 9 o'clock written on your watch, take a drink from your daddy's crotch.
Let me do hey everybody, we're back on Space Pigeon Radio, and we just dialed up our good friend and our pal Chris Fitzgerald, who's on the phone. Fitty G, what up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Space Pigeon Radio?
Hey, we're having a beautiful evening. And we wanted to give you a ring and talk about Dragon Con, because I don't think any of us went at all.
No.
But you went. And what was that like this year? Was it just as good?
Oh, it was great, actually. I think they kind of spread a lot of the paneling and stuff out, because every year they say it's the highest count of people there. Apparently there was like 77 to 80,000 people there, but it didn't feel like it at all.
Really? Some of the pictures I saw, it looked like it was a little bit more, it wasn't quite as crowded as it usually is.
It wasn't. It literally kind of felt like it was like, did somebody fart like everywhere? Because it didn't feel as like about 2 or 3 years ago, it was probably about as packed I think as it's ever been. I
80,000.
literally think they've spread panels out. They've opened up other, they've just optimized.
They opened up other hotels too, right? Like the West End. Yeah.
So name some like interesting sights from this time around. Like, did you see?
I got a lot.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, one of the things we did was a little game we had was to see what we thought the most popular costumes this year were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody was like one of two things: Pickle Rick or Wonder Woman. And Pickle Rick fucking destroyed. Rick and Morty were fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a big trend these days, Rick and Morty. I keep hearing about this all the time. I don't watch it yet.
It's pretty funny. Rick and Morty's pretty funny.
Dude, they had a lot of different... I won't ruin it for you, Ryan, but they had a bunch of different varieties from that particular cartoon walking around.
They have the Szechuan sauce?
Szechuan sauce, yeah.
I didn't see that, actually, but I mean...
That would have been a good prop.
I'm sure they probably had. There's a lot of... You know how people get creative there. So there was a Rick and Morty in the wrestling on Thursday night, which was cool.
Wrestling, so like, is it character wrestling? Is it just pretty much like any like actual like local wrestlers, like Johnny Walker types, or like what is it?
I think it's a little bit of... I think it is Georgia wrestling or whatnot, but silly as ever. And the highlight, in my opinion, was the giant Royal Rumble. There had to have been about 20 fucking people in that ring.
Was there 45 superstars, or how many was there?
People, including.
Yeah, including. Really, what's his name? The Dragon. He was like the highlight, superstar, really there. But literally, it all came down to basically people fighting outside the ring and getting people thrown on them, and
of course,
from inside the ring to outside the ring, and little things like that.
Like using superpowers.
No. Brawl strength and everything like that.
Just brawling, yo.
Brawl, yeah, pretty much.
Any steel chairs get hit on people?
There were some chairs, yes, there were still chairs. And then it looked like some random person from the crowd just jumped into the ring.
Why not?
Okay,
I think he was like a DragonCon TV associate or something like that, but he jumped into the ring. And,
oh, good. I hope they beat his ass. I hate those guys. They're just they're not funny. They think they're funny. They're not funny.
No, they're really not. It's kind of bad though. You would think the nerd intelligence would create like a good witty
well,
comedy.
especially with like the Adult Swim offices like right down the street.
Yeah.
No.
But it's not the case.
So what about, were there parties? Were there some crazy parties going on?
Oh yeah, there were a lot of crazy parties. One of the parties we had was like our Zardars meetup.
Yeah.
At the Pulse, and fucking Cheney was sneaking people into the front of the line with $20 to the security guards or whatever. We took the damn service elevator, which was closed. We just jumped in it and just like basically crashed the little party they had up there. Nice. But even the Pulse wasn't even packed. I mean, overall.
So the chair incident, I heard you guys were close to that.
So...
Oh, a chair got tossed out of a hotel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about
story, man.
Yeah.
Some asshole, like, the Marriott, we were outside around that area before that all kind of went down. In fact, we were talking about kind of doing a whole investigative to determine this and that from pictures we had taken or whatnot, but
there was talk online about
people. Did you hear the skinny of it?
Yeah, well, there's talk online that they said it was the college football kickoff fans, and I was like, I think that's just bullshit. I think some drunk idiot just did that. I remember in 2002 or 3 or something like that, where the pool deck is. It used to be just completely open there. And they had on the rooms that were above that, like where the pool deck was in the Marriott, they had balconies on all those rooms. And it was 1 year they just started throwing fucking beer bottles. I mean, like dozens of people got fucking like just tagged. And they ended up changing they took the balconies away and they put like an awning over like the pool.
People are animals.
People are fucking animals.
Yeah.
So
that's why we can't have nice things, right?
It's true. That is. So Zardoz was in effect. Like, what is the status of the army of Zardoz? Because when I kind of started going less and less and tapered off, Zardoz was kind of like starting to get bigger and bigger. Like it started with just like a handful of folks, and then it got more, and then it was a big posse. Like, what is it like now? Is it like how many Zardoz are rolling?
Well, I mean, this year not everybody was able to make it out, so I mean, we had a good 15, I'd say, dozen to 15.
Well, should we explain what Zardoz is to the people that don't know?
That'd be good. So, yeah, you want to take this?
I'll take this. Zardoz was a movie in the, I want to say mid-70s? 74? You correct me if I'm wrong, Fitz. Do you know that? What year was it? Mid-70s?
I think it was like mid to late 70s.
Yeah, and it was starred Sean Connery, and it was done by the guy who did Excalibur, who directed that movie, and it was.
You're right, 74.
Yeah, he did the. Did he do the? Oh no, he didn't do the Omen. He did. There was another movie that he did before that he won like an Oscar for. So like this guy kind of had, I think, like
James Bond.
No.
He was somewhat of a
the director. Like
yeah.
I forget what he did. He did something where he like won an Oscar. So basically, like Hollywood was just like, sure, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to do a post-apocalyptic movie about like that's a take on Wizard of Oz? Sure, let's do that. Yes. And let's get Sean Connery to do it. And the movie basically just turned into a big orgy where they just did drugs and filmed this really weird movie. And if people that listening have never seen it, they should watch it.
Sean Connery goes around in most of the movie in like a diaper kind of like outfit,
red diaper outfit
with like bullet like straps that he wears.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of these masks, these plaster masks of this face, this Zardoz face, right? So like the army of Zardoz is like a crew of folks that started under Matt Chaney with just a lot of appreciation for that movie, and then they all wear those masks and outfits and roll deep at Dragon Con and go party.
Yep.
So
dresses these characters that are called the exterminators in the movie, and that's pretty much it. And shout out to Richard Butler, because this was kind of the first time I watched it. I was out in Long Beach at Richard Butler's condo, or I guess like fucking apartment or whatever, and he showed me the movie, and I was like, this is insane. And then that was pretty much it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any like controversy besides the chair?
Oh yeah, for sure. But real quick though, I mean, I'll do credit. I think pretty much has to go to Butler on getting the cosplay in, and then the masks got to go to James Taylor
for sure. Yeah, James did the first. I still have my first round of paper mache Zardoz masks, or my Zardoz mask.
And I mean, in all honesty, it's really like an awesome costume, because you basically get to walk around Dragon Con in your underwear.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a win.
Well, and it's usually so fucking hot, anyways.
Exactly.
So you can wear that. The problem with it is if you try to walk around with any sort of identification and or cell phone. Usually I just in past years I've just stuffed it in the crotchal area, or kind of stuffed it towards the butt cheek area, which it messes the contour of the red diaper, but
this is true.
Yeah.
So as far as like controversy goes, we have one supreme story. Speaking of which places they shut off, so it's called like the 9 3/4 floor. There's different names for it, but basically between the 8th and 9th floors, the 9th and 10th floors, excuse me.
Which hotel?
There was a little secret kind of like facility staircase where you can go out to a balcony, which literally no, patrons or anybody, hotel goers could go to. But
is this the Hilton?
It was open, and people would go out there and do this and that's on there. And that was actually, I think, around that area was one of the areas that they had thrown the chair off of. But
really,
so we went up there before all that happened, and we're all hanging out outside. And then we look over to our left, and I forget what hotel it was. We were like, "Are they fucking?" So we look over, and this couple has the fucking shades all open. And dude's like on top missionary. He wasn't really doing anything, but we totally creeped on him.
Oh, so you?
I got a picture too I can show. It's fucking silly, but
so
anyway.
you went through a secret, basically like hotel passage, and got into a space where you could kind of like basically see into a room where people were having sex, basically.
Well, it was just a balcony. It was a balcony with a bunch of windows that connected to rooms, but the people that were in those rooms couldn't go out. So it was like a balcony, almost like a maintenance balcony area, or whatnot. So we're just hanging out in the balcony, chilling out, and the wind's blowing. It's really cool breeze going on, and then we look over to our left, and we're like, "Are there people fucking over there?" And then, of course, everybody, all the girls out there too. Everybody was all getting into creepy mode, like they are fucking, and we take pictures, and it was just silly.
Were they wearing like a weird costume while that was going on?
No, literally. Like, dudes on top, not moving around at all, so I don't know what the fuck. Maybe we just caught him in the end or some shit like that.
He just put it in and just went.
It had to have been a one-night stand because dude puts on all of his clothes and then climbs into bed and puts the covers over him. We were like, okay.
Ew. I like climbed in
you
bed.
guys were like closely observing what was going on.
So hold on a second. So
I told you we were creeping.
So the chick stayed naked in bed, but he got up and put his clothes on and then got in bed with her?
No, she went to take a shower, and then afterwards, dude came back. I don't know if he jumped in the shower too, but he was not visible. It's funny that we caught all that because it really wasn't. It wasn't that close. It was pretty far away.
Nope. Nobody was in like a furry like head or anything.
No.
Okay.
None of that.
That's
Giant
too bad. That's you should make it up if not.
He had the head of.
Somebody was in a Guar costume.
He had the head of Inspector Gadget's dog, and he was.
Oh my god! And then the girl was dressed like Heathcliff. I don't know why. She was.
Wasn't the dog called Brain on Inspector Gadget?
Yeah, he was called Brain. Yeah, because he was real.
Penny was the girl.
Penny was the girl, and then the dog was called Brain.
Did Penny also have like cybernetic enhancements, or was she just a normal girl?
No, she was a normal girl. She just kept getting Inspector Gadget out of shit because he was an idiot.
So
what was the name of the guy that was like, "I'll get you, Gadget"?
That's Dr. Claw. Yeah.
But was Inspector Gadget just this sad, like one of a kind aberration of humanity that somebody experimented on and installed all this stuff?
Yeah,
and like
he's like
he probably can't,
like the guy from Psych,
like CIA, MK Ultra, like fucking they just like, but it went all
that's
wrong.
Not really his daughter.
Yeah,
like that's like some weird. He woke up one day and that was his identity, and it was like, this is your daughter, and this is your
M. Night Shyamalan presents.
This is your really smart dog, and you're enhanced. You're enhanced.
Talking
now.
about 80s cartoons, I watched today because I'm running out of things to watch because I'm a stay-at-home dad for the next few weeks. I watched the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Out of the Shadows.
Oh, the one with the actual Krang and the Technodrome?
Yeah, have you watched it? I didn't know that was any of that.
I watched it with my son.
I didn't know any of that shit was in there. So, like...
It's the cartoon,
it's
like...
basically the cartoon.
A movie.
So, like, they get to the point where they... All right, introduce Casey Jones as the guy from... It's the Green Arrow guy. All right, that's fine. That's cool. All right, now here's the whole crew again. That's great. Okay, Shredder's trying to get out. Blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, Krang is there. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, it made it way more tolerable to watch.
We have to show Michael... maybe a clip of Bebop's voice, because that's really They took Bebop and he's like, "Hey, Rocksteady."
Well, he's got which one was Sheamus? Which one was the redheaded guy, the wrestler?
Is that who that is? I don't even know.
Bebop was the Rhino. Was Rocksteady?
Bebop's the Warthog.
Bebop. Okay. The guy. So Rocksteady was Sheamus, and he's got a scene where like he has an Irish accent, and I don't think he's actually Irish. I think he's. I may be wrong on this. I don't know.
Irish?
He's a wrestler. I have no fucking idea. But it sounds like a fake Irish accent when they're in this bar, and then he doesn't have it the rest of the movie. I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, I'm just spending too much time like trying to figure this out because this movie it's literally like it lasted like an hour. When it ended, I went, that was it. Like, I feel like that movie was really, really short.
Yeah.
But when they, like, I had no idea that the Technodrome or fucking Krang was in that shit, and then like all of a sudden like there's Krang, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's
like,
bad, but it's
it's
also
really bad. But I was like, oh, it's there's a little bit of nostalgia there. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that shit.
That's right. And
I never saw that. Hey, speaking of 80s movies, kind of miniseries, are you guys stoked about the new It movie?
The It movie.
I'll check it out. Junior's really excited.
You'll
about
check it out.
I'll check the movie out. But Junior sends me updates on that. He's been sending me updates on it.
That's the latest Junior obsession movie.
Yep. He's digging it.
But yeah, man, there's nothing more nostalgia than Dragon Con. Maybe just to kind of end that little piece of this. What about any celebrities? You see any celebrities there, Chris?
Dun, dun.
Actually, let me think about this.
Did you see Cusack?
See any celebrities? Actually, I didn't see any I didn't go to any panels this year, and I didn't see any celebrities walking around.
You didn't walk through the Hall of Shame?
Cusack was like aloof and kind of like not really interesting.
I can't believe that he's fallen that far. Like,
yeah, like literally. I mean, because I was stoked. I was like, High Fidelity. That's one of my favorite.
John Cusack.
If you told me when I went to Dragon Con in 1999 that John Cusack, who was at the time was probably my favorite actor, would be at Dragon Con like years later, I'd be like, that's bullshit. No way. I was like, no way. That's a serious actor. That's he's not Lou Diamond Phillips.
He's no Lou.
You, sir, no Lou Diamond Phillips.
I guess he kind of is now. Did you see? What about Ultimate Justin Manis? He's a celebrity. Did you see him here?
I saw him briefly when he was trying to get a hot glue gun, and that was about it.
Is he trying to do something with a costume?
Say no more.
I have no idea, actually. I just saw him briefly, and then I was with a friend. Was handing off a hot glue gun to him.
I believe, and I could be. He told me he's dating somebody that's on a TV show. I don't know if you saw this person. I don't know. I'll have to ask him who he's. He said he's dating some chick that's on a TV show right now. So I don't know.
Interesting. I wonder if it's Married at First Sight.
It's who?
Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight. What is that?
That's an Atlanta TV show that is. People like it's one of those things where there's one guy and like 30 women or vice versa, and the idea is they're supposed to meet somebody and then they're supposed to decide to marry them after a series of dates.
It's like The Bachelor.
Yeah, it's like that, except
is it real?
Yeah,
it's like a reality show.
It's a reality show, and then there's like this guy, this pastor that's on there that they keep cutting to for like his sage advice, and he's like. Yeah, marriage is a sacred thing, and these people are gonna be in this game show and get married right away.
So it's like a few dates and then a prearranged marriage, almost, right?
Basically, yeah. It's
they
like
get to decide they like each other. Or
it's like
you're going on dates and you're getting married.
It's like, who do you want to marry? Out of these random strangers, pick a marriage.
That's insane.
It would be better if they had Joey Greco from Cheaters was like the host.
Yeah, but they don't. But they
whatever happened to Joey.
But they just go on a lot of dates around Atlanta restaurants and whatnot. That's stupid.
That does seem fucking stupid. Like no falling in love, none of that stuff.
I see.
Like, hey, do you think you could sleep with this person and be with this person for the rest of your life? That's yeah.
I follow like Robert Downey Jr. The only person I think I follow, a celebrity I follow on Twitter, is like Robert Downey Jr. and it'll pop up. And I don't really check Twitter a whole lot, but it'll pop up and it'll be like Robert Downey Jr. And it's like him at some Atlanta restaurant, like all the time. He's like,
like shooting he's forever for the rest of his life filming Avengers.
Yeah.
Iron Man. All right, Fitty G, any shout outs you want to make?
Let's see. Shout out to World Peace, and hopefully
World Star.
People are safe in Miami and Florida.
For sure.
That's my
very good.
For sure.
Very good.
Get out of there.
Enjoy your sleep.
Yes, Fitz.
Yeah, hey, it's wonderful talking to you guys. You guys have a kick-ass night.
You too, man. Hey,
out, Space Pigeon.
Hey, dude, hit me up. Hit me up. We gotta hang out. You gotta come over, hang out.
Yeah, for sure. I need to meet you, little man.
Meet the kid. All right, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
all right, Crow, do you have any questions? It's a little late, I suppose.
I gotta give me a list of movies you recommend, and I'll watch them for next time we do this.
Watch the new It.
You haven't seen it though.
You gotta see the old It first.
Yeah,
that's it.
The one with John Ritter. I'm watching the one with John Ritter, right? Wasn't John Ritter?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was. He was the older version of one of the kids.
I was honestly not a huge It fan back in the day. I was just like, oh, there's It. That's like a serial clown movie.
I just don't like. I'm just not a horror movie person. But I remember watching it like when it was on TV. Like it was scary. It was Stephen King scary.
Yeah, I like Tim Curry and Clue.
I like Tim Curry and Clue as well, and Legend.
Yeah, you know that movie, Crow. Clue.
Yeah, episode 2 we were chatting about Clue.
Yeah,
episode 2.
Is there anything else you want to say about Clue? I know we talked about like remaking Clue.
Well, we were talking about making a bunch of skits.
Yeah,
that was one of the skits.
Yeah, that was a skit we were gonna make, but we never made that skit.
Well,
could we get Christopher Lloyd to be in the skit? I think that may be possible.
Is he not dead?
No, he's still alive, I think. Someone look that up. I saw him at Dragon Con a couple of years ago.
I saw him at Dragon Con too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all.
All right, Fitty.
All right, Fitty.
Enjoy.
All
Have
right.
a good sleep.
Yeah, cheers, y'all.
Peace out.
See ya.
Later.
That was Chris Fitzgerald. Chris Fitzgerald talking about Dragon Con.
That was your Dragon Con update.
Dragon Con update.
It looked like fun. I saw some pictures and such. Some lady got hit in the head with a chair.
If you've ever been to Dragon Con and you want to tell us about it, why don't you leave a message on the Space Pigeon Radio Facebook group? We have a Facebook group, and that's where you can reach out to the Sons of Ackworth and the Space Pigeon Radio. You can interact. You can ask us questions.
Ask Michael Crow questions about chicken. Any chicken related
I know
question.
about that. I can tell you anything about chicken.
Let's do a quick last break, and then we'll come back.
Space Pigeon Radio.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like we ought to try to practice for a show. We could work out some material.
Luke, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Anybody here know Wicked Town?
All right, I guess we're back now. Space Pigeon Radio.
Knock the fuck out.
It's episode 17, and we're here with Genghis Khan memes for communism-loving teens. That's a good thing to fake name your YouTube stream.
Yeah, your YouTube stream of Thursday Night Football.
You got a fake name for your YouTube stream?
Oh shit! Them's all kaputs, I guess.
Yeah, them's all kaputs, but we got that for another few minutes till we do this here end of the show. So if you're out there in a hurricane, I want you to be safe. If you're listening to this podcast while a hurricane's going on, get to a northern location, far away from the water, the treacherous water, rain, clouds, storm surge,
and from the Yellowstone supervolcano.
The Yellowstone supervolcano might get you. Watch out for polar shift. If there's polar shift about to happen, you know what could happen there. Obviously, the Antarctica could spin suddenly, drastically suddenly. So, you know, not just like within seconds, Antarctica could be where the equator is.
Municipal authorities might steal your van, so keep an eye out for that.
There might be a shortage of Zaxby's ice. Zaxby's ice is important. Did I ever talk about on here the fact that I looked up and you can buy like a Zaxby's ice machine for home, but it's like $600 to have like your own Zaxby's ice maker, but that perfect crushed ice that just is perfect.
I'm gonna drive to Zaxby's and fill my face with ice.
Yeah, but the ice is. What if you didn't have to go? What if you just had it at your disposal?
I have to go.
You have to, but
I don't care about the ice.
I love the ice. I love the ice almost as much as anything else.
Talk about those tubes. Actually, that's good surface area. That's actually pretty good.
That ice is the best. Zaxby's Ice. I want to give a shout out to Zaxby's Ice.
So nice.
People in Guam Watch out for the nuclear bomb. This is the public service portion of the Space Pigeon Radio. If you're in
the Space Pigeon bulletin board,
Sun Zone, all the everybody
Hinkle
at
Family
Jab
Fun
News.
Center.
35.
What else is going on in the world?
Oh, just death and destruction.
They're shooting missiles over Japan. Dude, I'd be fucking nervous as shit if
You're
I
in
was
Japan.
my country.
Japan. Japanese people, watch out for the missiles.
You remember when this stuff didn't happen?
No.
I don't either.
No, it always happened, but it was like maybe one of these things a year.
Yeah,
now it's
not all
like
at once.
one every week.
Yeah.
Of a nasty destruction that people are going to die. I panicked the other day because this new dog I got away and started running into the woods behind my house.
Uh-oh.
And I went running through the woods after my dog for like a good 15 minutes of sheer horror because it went chasing a deer into the deep woods behind my house. And like a mad crazy person, I was running through these trees, through the woods, going, Stella! 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 and then I was like, shit! Well, I had this dog 2 weeks. Fucking idiot! I let the dog run away in the woods.
Yeah.
And then I said, God damn it, I guess I'll see if this dog is smart and just comes back to the house. And it did. I finally just went back to the house and there it was. It was like, yeah, hey, dumb fuck, I'm right here.
Where's the dog right now? That was our special guest tonight.
The dog's asleep.
Yeah.
Dogs is
Stella's sleeping.
Stella's used to being asleep. She's like, what the fuck is this? Well, these people in my house.
New people should come hang out.
Who are these people in my house?
Ask how Dragon Con was.
Stella, how was Dragon Con?
It was okay. Threw a chair out a window.
Insert dog voice. But the angry planet, we live on an angry planet that's turning murderous. It's deciding to get rid of us. The human problem.
How do you want to die?
Ask yourself.
How do you want to die? How do you want to die? How do you?
In a meteor shower.
In a cloud of Cheeto dust.
And remove.
In a Cold War era submarine.
No human will remain. In the Cold War era, no human will remain.
Angry ball lightning chasing you through your hallway.
No human will remain.
A drought of Zaxby's ice.
Humans not the remainder, those humans don't remain.
Water your lawn on even days.
Toxic waste wafting through the air because the chemical plant flooded.
No human will remain.
Deregulation all across the nation.
I want to die in a rainstorm. I want to die under the water.
order pickup service, which is new and great.
That's my favorite scene in Beetlejuice.
I want to die watching the new MTV Unplugged with hot artists like Shawn Mendes.
Of the Menendez brothers?
I want to drown in Dunkin' Donuts.
Inside Dunkin' Donuts? Or in the coffee?
In a million Dunkin' Donuts.
I can't speak, I've died. Welcome to hell. It's actually quite nice here. You won't mind it.
I am Gaia, the spirit of the planet.
This ain't so bad.
I will turn the forces of nature against you. The lifeblood, the trees.
Zeus has spoken.
The very dirt under your feet hates you. The rocks, the spiders laugh at your plight.
Are we animated? Is Sigourney Weaver here? I don't know!
After we die, we go to a place where we all look like ourselves, but we're not. We are demons who look like we look as our original selves, but we're not. We are demons, demon clones from Jupiter.
Of course you are. Now I know that you are demon clones from Uranus. Now I know you are demon clones from Uranus.
Clones from Jupiter.
My demon doll, my wicked goddess. My slushy, dryer sheets.
Who's flying the drones over the pool? Who's flying the drones over the pool? Who's that asshole flying drones over the pool?
Shoot that shit down.
Flying the drones over the pool. Trying to see all the ladies in their hot bikinis over the pool. Over the pool. Flying drones over the pool. Who's that asshole?
Surf's up.
Flying drones over the pool. Flying drones over the pool.
Asshole.
Who's that asshole?
Flying the drones.
Flying drones over the pool. Flying drones over the pool.
Fucking asshole.
Trying to see all the ladies in their hot bikinis underneath the water of the pool.
Fucking creep.
All the people, the kids and babies and the dogs in church over at the pool with the guy flying drones overhead.
That guy.
Who's that asshole?
Asshole.
Flying drones over the pool. That asshole flying drones.
That guy. Don't be that guy.
He's sitting back behind the tree. He's got his tan lotion and his little remote control on top of his knee. Who's that asshole? Flying drones over the pool.
Only like a 30-second battery.
Is he?
Really fucking asshole.
North Korea's gonna nuke that asshole flying drones over the pool. Rock you like a hurricane. Who's that asshole? Getting swept away by the floodwater storm surge while the nuclear bomb is flying in his head.
Who's that asshole when you drown over the pool? Kim Jong-il's gonna nuke your fucking ass from the bushes, you fucking asshole.
15 foot of flood water drowning the pool people while the drone flies and the nuclear missile comes for his head. Donald Trump will make sure you trans people can't fight in the wars while the nuclear bomb flies at your face. All you transvestites wanting medical pills to fuck you, says your president, cause nuclear bombs and flood waters and robots gonna take your job. No,
Can't fight anymore.
no universal basic income. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you all.
Curtis can't fight in the war.
They're gonna make more Star Wars movies even after you're dead. Even after you die, you'll never know all the stories of the Skywalker clan, and the people in the fucking Empire will go on and on and on and on.
what about the Obi-Wan movie? I want to see what happens.
Oh, that's funky. That's funky. I just like that. Say, Papa. So if you want to have supper or lunch, take a drink of Papa Crutch.